What's up YouTube, it's Louis here bringing you today's cryptocurrency video. Sorry I haven't been able to make a Bepro update for a long while, but I did make some a few days ago on my Twitter, so make sure you're following my Twitter. Thank you again to all you Bepro supporters for 1,000 subscribers. There will be a giveaway. Giveaway details will follow in the coming days or so. But I've just been busy going back and forth, making sure that my partner's okay, going back to hospital and whatnot. She had to go back in today to get more tests done. Still no answers. It's been going on for over a month now. I'm drained, so I bet she is as well too. Perfect. Let's go into Bepro quickly. So there's two levels that Bepro must hold. Well, actually, this level, to be honest, this level must hold until you lose key structure. Basically, I've told you before in the past I don't like using trend lines, and the reason being is that you lost this trend line saying you're in a downtrend, but you're actually not, because you're actually still printing higher lows. This over here, if you look at the body, we've got 10 hours left for this daily candle close, but even if it closes where it is right now, or even a bit lower, it's still higher than this purple line, and this purple line is your previous low. So you have a low and you have a higher low, so as long as you keep printing higher lows, you should make a higher high over this. And we know that Bepro was in this falling wedge, right? And when you break out, you hit every single resistance point, and we've met almost every single one all the way up until here. We've met this one. So the last 3 points that we need to come to is this area here, this one here, and this one here, and we will meet these three points of resistance as long as we're creating higher lows. And that's what we're doing. We have a low, we have a higher low, we have a higher low, and we have a higher low. So it's all about the bodies. So you can see the bodies here and here, so exactly in line. Bodies here. It's never about the wicks, it's about the bodies. So if you do lose 0.00641724, this is when you're basically changing the trend, and this is when you would actually roll over down to here to 0.00283529. So this would be very negative, because you're losing this key support that we created back in September. Okay guys, so I'm going to look at the RSI right now. So back in September, when we did low out here, you were just above the oversold territory. Over here you just touched it basically, but over here you didn't touch it. I think you came a bit lower than that. Yeah, I think you came the tiniest bit lower. The tiniest bit lower than that. So you have lower lows on the RSI, but you're having higher lows on the actual chart. Since making that low point, which is this candle, you've made lower lows on the chart, but here you've made higher lows. So is this bearish divergence is this bullish divergence playing out over here or not? Let's see, because it's all about holding this support. So let's get the fibs out and measure from the lowest point to the highest point over here, and you can see that we're sitting on the 0.50. The 0.50 is that support, so we want to see that 0.50 hold. If you do wick below, yes, that's fine, you can wick below, but we cannot close below this. If you close below this, this is where you create that reversal wave all the way down to here. So although I put my fib level on this, it's not about losing this low. If we lose this low over here, this purple line, then that's where it becomes very negative, and we have further downward targets. And this over here, your 1618, would be your target, and this over here would be your bear market bottom, because if we measure right from the top back in March all the way down to the 1618, that would be a 98% correction, and that is a bear market for you guys. That is a crypto bear market, altcoin bear market. So it's all about staying above 0.0283529 and not even the one. It's not about the one anymore. So you need to hold this, because if you do lose this, if you have a daily candle closure with the bodies, I don't care about the wicks, you can wick down to that, you can wick down to here, but as long as you get back above the 0.50, confirm that support, we won't have further downside. If you do close below that 0.50, I'm telling you guys now, you are going to come down here, and that would be a nasty correction. Look at that. So if you lose this low, that would be a 55% correction, and from this local high over here, 83%. So it's literally, you just don't want to see that. What is one positive is, of course, you created that higher low. You haven't lost this level at the moment. You wick down, but I don't even think with the wick you went lower, and the wick doesn't matter anyway. You were down here, you got back above. It's about finding that support now. So I'm going to put some further fibs on, but just before we get into that, we have this falling wedge. And we know as long as we're printing higher lows, we're going to retrace to the top. And I've just explained how we keep retracing to each resistance point. Of course, we're going to stop off at them, pull back before continuing, and that's what we're seeing. We met this final one over here, which was also support and resistance. Then we dropped, made a higher low, higher than this low. You did make a lower high, but as long as you're printing higher lows, you should make a higher high over this, and that will take you to this target, and then eventually that higher target. So it's looking a-okay at the moment, as long as you're staying above this level over here that I keep telling you about. Perfect. So let's look at the fibs. So you came up impulsively here and you dropped back down here. So we're going to measure the fibs from there, from your swing low to your swing high. And you can see at the moment we're sitting exactly on that 1618. So that is your technical target basically. You wick down to the 2, but as long as we can flip that 1618 as support, there's chances that we work our way through the fibs again. And if we can get back above the 1, that's when I can say, yeah, the dip is done. If you can see that potentially we are creating this double bottom over here. And if we look at this area over here, you did lose the 200. You came down, went back above it all the way up here, dropped back below and created a higher low. So now we got back above the 200 and confirmed their support. So could that be the same where we're just creating a larger double bottom? This is your neckline, come down and get back above the 200, confirm their support and head off. Of course, that's just a possibility right now. I'm not seeing that at the moment until you break that level basically, or back above the 200. So until then, could roll over. If you lose this low, you know you have these technical targets down here. As long as you wick and then get back above this level, we will eventually continue. If you close below that purple line, I'm bearish, to be honest, guys. And this is where you would have to think about exiting your positions, because you would have another 55% correction all the way down to there if you have a daily candle close below that purple line. So let's get some more fibs out. Let's look at let's look from here to the low over here. So you got to the 0618, you actually overshot that to the 786 and you lost it. So the fibs are working out as they should. You've had an impulse, your exhaustion or correction before continuing down, and your target would be of course in and around there and lower, but we don't want to lose this low. As long as you don't lose this low, then we could be done and you're creating a large double bottom like this. Okay, so if you can get back above that 0618, that's when or as long as you're staying above this, we should work our way back to that 618. And when you're above that 0618, you're going to head back up to that 1618, and that's retracing to this point, which we haven't done to yet. This point, and of course this point with the bodies, but slightly off the 2 wicks up there. So we need to watch out for that for those 2 locations. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it's obviously not the best because it's all on Bitcoin to hold up, but yeah, again guys, like, it's all about holding that purple line. Let's take a look at the 4H time frame. I'm going to delete that right now. So let's take a look at this 4H time frame, see what we can see. So there's 2 things that are happening right here. You've got potentially an ascending triangle over here, and I'll give you a technical target for that in a moment. Let's use a box. I prefer the box. So once we're above 0.008288934, let's put that here. Once we're above that, we'll have a technical target sitting at just above the 200 EMA. We'd like to hold that support afterwards, so that'll take you to 0. Let's just put that on here. 0.00972611, and that'll be a nice percentage gain of what, about 19%. You don't need leverage whatsoever. 19% is amazing. You won't even get down the stock market in a year. So that was the first pattern. We could also, it's potential right now, because remember, you need to break this neckline to validate that. If you lose this, you're coming down to here again. If you lose that, then obviously it's getting very, very bad, and that's where you want to exit your position over here. It's not even closing below here, it's literally if you lose that low basically. So I'll give you some fib targets as well out of that. But the other thing that I could see is a potential inverse head and shoulders over here. So it's all about breaking this neckline, and of course it's descending, so it depends on where the breakout is going to be. So this is the shoulder, the head, and then the right shoulder over here. So if you can see, if we're using this descending trend line and this ascending trend line, you're actually coming to an apex over here. So a move is going to happen in the next 2 days. Basically, we're going to have that move in the next 2 days, whether that's to the upside, go up, or roll over. And of course we do not want to see that. If you lose this low over here, that's where it's highly likely that you're going to lose this, and you're going to come down all the way down to here, having that further 55% correction. And that's where I just don't want Bepro to go. I know that I'm not in Bepro, but I want you guys to understand that when you lose key levels of support, you're flipping the trend basically. And of course, if you're flipping the trend and we're looking at the highest of time frames, you're flipping the trend on the highest of time frames, and that could last months to the downside. Do you know what I mean? So basically, if we are going into the bear market and we lose this low and this low, then it would be around 12 months until you bottom out. So March, so it could be March where you actually meet this technical target, if you do lose those two lows that I'm talking about. Because if you lose this, you're coming down to here, and if you lose that, you're going into your bear market, and you'd probably hit the 1618 somewhere in March over here. So it'll be a long, grueling process, because obviously it takes a year, almost a year to exactly to find that bottom basically. So it's all about holding them key levels of support, which we are doing right now. So let's get your technical target for this inverse head and shoulders over here. So once you break this neckline, depending on where it happens, let's say it happens here, you've got a technical target now sitting at about 1 cent. About 1 cent. So I'm just going to put that in for you guys there. Boom. So roughly 1 cent. Let's move this over a little. Yeah. So it's all on Bepro to do the work. Remember, lose this low, and this is very negative. Think about those positions, please, guys. So at the moment, you've come back. Let's zoom in for you. At the moment, you've come back to that 050 basically, and that's sitting with the ascending triangle support. So if we do see a bounce from here, we're going to come to obviously this descending resistance, and we need to see a break to the upside. But just because that's what we want doesn't necessarily mean it will. Of course, it's all on Bitcoin as well, guys. So again, if we have a wick below, that's fine. I just want to see a daily candle closure sitting back above this. So if you do lose this support, not even the one, if you lose this over here, that's when I'm telling you guys that we're going to roll over down to here, the 1618. And obviously that means you're losing your key level of support, because that's your key low basically, major key level of support, that swing low. And if you lose that swing low, you're coming down to here. I hope you understood this video today. Of course it sounds like it's a negative video, but of course I've just given you bullish and bearish targets. We have to not maintain a bias and look at it both ways. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Please like, subscribe, turn the notification bells on, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.